Welcome to the Caribbean Property Investing Podcast, where we share real-life experiences for successful Caribbean property entrepreneurs. Learn about their successes, challenges, and strategies to help you create your plan for financial freedom. Now let's get started.
I love my community. It teaches you the importance of being together even through difficult times. Business owners doing their best to make it through. Fishermen and farmers working hard to put food on our tables. Nurses caring for the sick shows me who we are made of. People who care. I guess it's about growing together.
To ruminate, to create your ultimate living space. And at Courts, you'll find what you need. Choose from our wide range of furniture, electronics, and accessories to complete your space. We're here and ready to assist. Give us a call to place your order. Shop online at shopcourts.com or visit us in store. So ruminate at Courts, bringing value home.
Welcome to episode 23 of the Caribbean Property Investing Podcast. A lot has happened in our market in St. Lucia over the last week or so. We just saw a change in government with the SLP and Philip J. Pierre being victorious and crowning him the new Prime Minister of St. Lucia. As a member of the St. Lucia Real Estate Board, we have an outstanding issue. And that is, for the last 4 years, we've been assiduously working on getting the real estate bill passed in St. Lucia. That bill is going to offer protection for agents and for consumers, as well as provide regulation, much needed regulation to the industry. Currently, we think we have more than 500 practicing agents, even though we have less than 150 members officially in the association. What happens then, what has been happening is that there are a number of disputes, whether it's a tenant-landlord dispute, whether it's an agent-agent dispute, common agent-agent dispute is around co-broking. How long does an agent have right to claim a client after he or she assumed that client or property? That's probably the most common dispute we have coming to the board. But we're looking forward to the passing of that real estate bill with this new government, and hoping that we can create some structure, some regulation, and an improved and more professional real estate sector, which is a big economic contributor locally. So, having said all this, I'd like to introduce our latest guest to the podcast. I'd like to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Keiran Lecompte, who I've known for some time, and I think he has a fascinating story, a lot to share. Welcome to the podcast, Keiran.
Hey, thank you very much. How are you doing?
I'm good. So, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
Basically, like we've said earlier, my name is Keiran Lecompte, and I'm from the community of Moshi, which I was raised in, and I spent most of my schooling days in that area. And I also went to the Leon Hess Comprehensive School, where I think I got most of what I am today. And basically, I am one who is basically trying to make sure that life is the best, and I'm trying to make sure that I can give whatever that has been given unto me to others also.
So Keiran, I've known you for some time, and why don't you tell us about that your professional journey? You've dabbled in a number of businesses, areas, fields. Why don't you share some of that journey with us?
Well, we basically have to take it from home, where I was raised in a single family. Basically, my mom had to find a better life for herself. Moved into Barbados, and I had to basically take on that journey on my own. Basically, with her help, with her love and everything. But I had to basically take that journey on my own, send myself to school, whether I had it or I did not have it. I had to be at school, and I think this really taught me how to go after what you want and not giving up. So basically, I am a product of not giving up. I'm not sure if you understand what I'm saying.
No, I get it. I get it. I get it. It's perseverance. So what happened after you left Hess? What was your first job?
My first job was with a photography company. Um, I can say it's Reflections, where I really got a passion when it comes to photography. And I moved into that field, and I did my best. I also moved into videography, did my best, but there was just something more I needed. I just needed more to do more. I was feeling stifled, because it is all about going for what you want in life. And I served my time in that company very well. It was a very good stepping stone for my life. It actually brought me into the different things that I am doing right now. Basically, build designing, the eye for photography, eye for imaging, eye for people, eye for making you believe that you the best. I got that basically from photography and videography from this company. But since there was a passion for more, I had to make a step to move forward into other things.
So what do you do after Reflections? What did you do? Learning some of the skills of, you said, preparation, having an eye for quality. You were working for this company. What was the next move?
Um, Basically, I moved on my own. When I say moved on my own, partially, partly, I also I got an offer to manage a photo studio in Sandals, and I did that for 4 years. Again, passion for more, stifling, wanting to move to do other things. I basically moved on my own, where I opened the studio in Castries, which is timeless portraits. I think a lot of people may know that business by now. Um, Timeless portraits upstairs, the sewing center, and I stayed there for about 12 years. 12 years, did some really good business, really good imaging, captured some wonderful moments for persons who were still valuing these shots right now. Made some very good friends, clients, up to what they like today. And from the shift from photography to the other business, I still maintain some of my clients from photography.
Pause, pause. I don't want you to move too fast. So what
That
what
is
do
why I
you
pause. That
think?
is why I pause.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think gave you the courage to decide to go on your own? You said you learned a lot working for the first company, but then you made this bold step to move to a hotel chain and open your own business. Describe to our audience, what was that like? What are some of the challenges that you had doing that, working at the hotel and running your own business? How were you able to balance the two and for you to last 12 years?
Well, basically, I served in Sandals first for 4 years. I moved from this company with the intention to start my own, but I got the offer from Sandals and I went in. So moving to my other company was basically after I left Sandals. I just had to move to my own.
Why? And how was that?
I needed to give more. I needed to um, give more to the public. I needed to my talent a little more. It was a bit stifled because I started this job at Sandals as a supervisor. 1 month later into the manager, and I think they had a total probably about 3 staff in total in that business. But within a month to 2 months, I took it to 9 staff based on the volume of work that I saw and the amount of money that could have been made. So I moved staff into the company as quickly as possible and made a mint, which they were very happy with. That is why they moved me into managerial position. But I am not one to sit at a desk or just wait for persons to think, I come and give orders. I like to work. I like to put my hands in there. Teach. I like to, because the more you teach is the more you yourself receive. I know of a lot of persons who don't believe what I'm saying, but me, so I'm gonna stick. And as a manager, I still used to go all around, still doing my shots, meeting the people, finding out what they need, what they want, creating different packages for the different evenings and different things like that. And it moved very well, where everybody thought it was really my business. I was being called into meetings like, like the owner. The owner self would just probably say, Keiran, go ahead, but I still felt like I could have done, I have to do, and I will do more.
Okay, so now you left the hotel, you opened your business. What was that like? What are some of the challenges that you had in that business?
Well, like any new person going into business, you have to understand that there are certain things that we probably did not look out for, and you thought sometimes you would be ready because of certain things that you had, your skills and everything. But when it's your own, it becomes deeper. I mean, a lot of the little issues that was going on with probably the other people that you were working with, now you start to experience these things on your own. And then you realize, oh my goodness, I should have just probably take my $10,000 and just work for you and not open a business. But it was much more than money, and it was much more than just going into business to make a profit. There was a passion in doing so.
So you moved to town, you have your own business. How did you end up in real estate, Keiran?
Let's stick on photography a little bit. So I moved into town with opening this business, Timeless Portraits, which, which I loved, which I really loved. At that point, we had photography on the analog side. Then halfway in between, or 3/4 in between, we had digital. Now, it is not easy for anybody to handle an analog camera, but it's very easy for anybody to handle a digital camera. And I trained myself very hard in making sure that I get the right settings to make sure that I can capture the shots if it's only one shot that I have. I think God gave me the ability to have done that. And then digital came in, and business started, you know, more on the digital side. Persons don't want to print anymore. They want the photos, on CD or device, and the bulk of the money started going down. So I moved into real estate, building slash, and because it was my background from Leon Hess. So I basically started sketching, drawing. I mean, somebody would probably come with an idea, and I would just let them know, maybe you can do it like this, maybe you can do it like that. And I would, help them. Whilst I was at my office, things were a bit slow. I would take that time to to draw, to sketch, to design your home for you, and to do different things like that. And it really came back, and it started all over again because of there was this friend of mine who really wanted to do a small apartment upstairs, and the design, I went over and I showed her everything. Now everybody may just think, well, how would you know where to do this and how to do this? Photography taught me all.
Did
It
you
taught
do
me all. I have an
technical
eye
drawing?
for detail.
Did you do technical drawing at school? TD.
Thank you. Yes, I did.
So TD and
Yeah.
your photography gave you some skills that you could transfer to them. Okay, go ahead.
I did art also. So you put the three together and wonderful combination.
How did that apartment turn out?
So I went and I showed her everything. I showed her how, where to save some space, where to save some monies, where to do this. Don't just block the space. I showed her everything. Maybe I will send that photo to you so you can take a look at it. That building became, I mean, I said the building, I never said the apartment. The building became one of the best in the area.
But that time
It
you're not a
was,
builder.
it,
That time you're not a builder yet.
uh,
You're sketching. You're just sketching at a time.
that time I'm not, that, that time I'm not a builder, but I have all the skills that it takes to go that way. So basically, what I did, I called a friend of mine who was a mason. He was a very good mason. He worked with me already. Just coming to my house, and I'm telling him what I want, and he would have it done for me. And I called him up, and I gave him the job. It was $10,000. Simple. So within the first week, he asked for a certain amount of money, and I said to the lady, I don't think that is. And second week, he's asking for more. I said to the lady, hey, you need to relax on this guy as to the monies he's asking. So I called him into my office and I said to him, hey, you may have been in this thing for 30 years, but I can see that you're doing something wrong already. So I would want you to probably take this project. Let me give you a few steps as to how to take it over because I can see you doing this and you can basically get a profit. And it was not really an apartment, so to speak, but it was some work within $10,000. When I realized that he said to me, I've been in this for 30 years. You think you can talk to me? There was righteous anger coming from within. So I said to him, this is not making sense because as much as I can learn from you, you can learn from me. And I can tell you on the financial side, you will not survive. So, I mean, I was in his account students. I am very good with financing. I can make a dollar, do anything for you. Um, he said to me, I cannot talk to him. I cannot tell him what to do. I said, go ahead, do what you have to do. In two days later, the lady called me and said to me, she don't think that this going to finish my work with the money. I said, fine. I went
So wait, wait,
on.
wait,
I took on the job.
wait. So this lady decided to trust you. You're not a contractor. You have no professional qualifications for building. You did TD, art, photography, uh, and videography, and she trusted you enough to let you oversee her building.
So by the time he was gone, I had to take over because I was the one with all the ideas. I was the one coming in and saying, okay, let's have this like that. The sketches that I do, we have to bring it back to the place so they can take a look at it. Because I mean I was not I had no idea I wanted to go in that area. No idea. But I just felt like I was staying in my office and I was just sketching the balcony designs and everything, and I'm just bringing it to her, and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm happy." She's injecting another 10,000. I know you can do this, and she's in another 10,000. And as we go along, before he could have even reached his $10,000 mark, I was onto that job,
So
and it
so
went to about 120.
Kieran, sorry. I have to say, I'm thinking, I'm sure some of my audience is thinking, is this a relative or love interest? Who does that? Who gives a friend the money or drawdowns from what probably is the biggest investment in their life, just like that. You're very convincing.
Well, well, when you say it's from photography, I mean, I did from, she was a owner of a school, and then I did the photography for the kids. And I think I did that very well. So she trusted me on that end to make sure I can capture these kids, whether they looking good or they looking even better than good. I captured these kids, and the parents were always happy with the product, the quality of work that I give. So she believed if follows and knowing how to, bring reality to life, she think that she probably could have trusted me with that building. So I took on the building, and she injected monies into that building every week, and there was no story like, no, Kieran, too much money. No, I said, you know what? This is an idea I have for this part of the building. This is what you. Oh my God, I love it. How much is it? I will get the money. I don't care. I will get the money. Anything you want to do, just go ahead and do it. And I mean, that brought such joy and passion. When we were finished with the building for about a month, 2 months, this lady was so pleased with us that I think we were having my team was having wings and black and white every single day after work. Every day after work, I mean, she used to treat us, and it's like they didn't want to leave. So, I mean, from then, I realized, hey, I think this is something I have a passion for. So I went full force into it. Still running the photos. I got some people to run it for me, and I went to other things where I could have, really hands on when it comes to construction, building, and creating something.
So Kieran, pause. So you practically raised yourself because you said your mother moved to Barbados when you were in high school. You found a way. You got your first job. You moved on to the hotel. Then you started your own business. All
And by
that
the way, I
babe
was 14 years.
at 14. But you were living with extended family like your grandmother or an aunt or someone. So
We came from a yeah, extended family, but it was close, very close. But I lived alone.
wow. So you're very fortunate to get a client who trusted you clearly, and not only gave you her hard-earned money to fulfill your ideas, your creative passion and ideas, but she also gave your workers wings and whiskey on Fridays. Um, that project turned out well. What was your next project? In fact, I want to talk about your own project, the project that I've seen. Tell us about that project. Your bill with
My
your
second,
apartment below.
I will go to the second project
Okay.
is she took me to the school where I renovated the school for her. And at that time, I was not easy. I was ruthless. Don't tell me anything. It cannot be done. Don't tell me it cannot be done. Don't tell me you will plaster the block, so just put it like that. I want it done properly. Come on, I am on my job 24/7, making sure that everything goes right. That was my second.
So yeah, so by that time you've assembled a crew. So you have a steady regular crew at that time.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
how do you cost the project?
Yeah.
Did you all use a QS? Did she use a QS? Was it bank financing, self financing?
Um, Let me make you understand something. I don't know if I am going to sound anything straight, but I am an account student. One of the best account students in my time at Hess. I think figures, I'm very good at with figures. Um, Finances, I'm very good at finances. Understanding what you do is very easy to cost what you do. Because if you don't understand something, you won't be able to cost it the right way. And if I have done if I have done 10 or 15 projects in my life, I'm just saying I have costed 14
Yourself.
and
Okay.
myself. And QS services, I think I am always on par with them, always on par. The bank, especially First National, trust me. Anytime I send in a course, they would not question it or find anybody else to back it up. And I am always tete-a-tete with the QS. The prices are 5,000, 6,000 difference. So I have never really used a QS to cost any of my projects unless it
Well,
is it is needed.
our banking partners are Bank of St. Lucia. So for your next project, make sure you check them out. So tell us about the challenges that you would have faced with the renovation of the school. What are some of the key challenges you face there?
Well, this is one. Maybe this one was the one who really taught me how to cost renovation, because you would see certain things that are looking very well, but as soon as you touch anything around it, it will surface and it will show you itself. And this is where the cost will start to go up. So in looking at what is wrong with a building and what is going on with a building, you need to go so much deeper. And sometimes you have to just put in a provisional cost for anything that may come after. And it always does. You always have to put that money in. So
So on that
challenges,
project,
yes,
you had a few of
you
those.
cannot speed up.
Sorry. So on that project, you had a few of those surprises. Do you remember what was the biggest surprise you got and the highest impact of for that provisional costing?
Um, I mean, a building can last you 100 years if you sometimes don't tamper with it. But sometimes, as soon as you just touch one board, that same building that would have given you 100 years, it is 60 years now. It would have given you 100 years if you did not touch it. But from the time you put or you take out one board, all the others will tell you, I'm coming out also. So challenges of a building for that project was just a number of things. The roof, that when we uncovered the roof, and I mean, stuff we never budgeted for came on board. And she was right there, so she understood, which was a good thing for me, because I mean, I'm green, I'm going into this thing, and then I'm seeing, okay, I'm saying to you it's $5, and yeah, it will be done, and then I'm taking out stuff and it's 7 already, and it's 8 and it's 9, and she understood. She was there with me, and she said, okay, no problem, we'll get the monies. We can see it's not your fault, then let's move on.
Tell us about the personal project. Why did you decide to build there?
Personal project.
Yeah, and what was your thinking about the income property? Why did you do it?
It has always been a dream of mine to have apartments. From a little boy, I think I thought of all the lucrative bits that would probably keep me going, because as a young man, don't have much. You really do not want to stay in that position. You want to make sure you do something that is going to keep you moving, and don't stop all the way until till retirement. And I saw this property. I loved it. I loved the location. I knew it was going to be somewhere persons, would really love to probably live. So I designed this piece. I designed two. I chose the expensive one, for dwelling, and we've added parts to it. Then I would basically, create the apartments, and share a space where persons would love to be and don't even want to live.
When you were thinking of the size, as just the layman looking at a structure from a contractor, built by a contractor for himself, we may get the impression that, boy, those contractors build huge houses for themselves. How did you How did you manage that? How did you settle on how big of a structure you want it to be for your dwelling and for your tenant's dwelling? And why did you decide to only do two in that spot?
I I don't like big buildings, but if you as a potential homeowner is looking for someone to build something for you, basically, I think it would sell a little more to show what you have done and what you are capable of doing. I think it was for a little while until the passion grew again, and I said to myself, I need to do more to this building. I need to keep it updated. So I started creating the apartments below. Um, and within 5 years, I brought on 5 apartments. I started with one, two, doing the Airbnb, which was very good. I mean, I only had one apartment, started with the Airbnb, and then it was doing so well that it moved me into the second, third, and fourth and fifth as quickly as possible. And it was something that I just did not want to build a room or 4 walls for somebody to just come and sleep. But Sandals or any of the hotels have nothing on me when it comes to my apartments. I give it my best. I spend as much as I have to. So when you get in there, you don't come out. And this has been my comments, my reviews from my people, and we have 5 star. I think is there a six? I think yeah. I think 5 star hosts throughout the journey before COVID, and it didn't stop me before after COVID or during COVID. I still went on to build a very much impressive um, fifth apartment with a lot of wood incorporation and wooden floor. I mean, not the ordinary thing that you buy from the States and you bring it down. I bought this thing locally and I made the floor out of it, and it's nothing. Some people came and see it at 60% and they paid for it. They said, I want it. They said, anytime you finish, just let us know. But
So,
it has been a journey. I mean, it has not all been easy because you want to give the best out there, but I tried.
what do you say to a listener who says, well, he can see all of that because he's a contractor, and the only reason it seems so easy is because he has staff, he has workers, he has material, but a normal person like me just working as a civil servant, I cannot do that. What do you say to someone saying that who might think that?
I think most persons have to understand that it does not start with your salary. It does not start with it starts with you. It starts with what you want to do in life. It starts with how far you want to go in life. And if you tell me that you're looking at anything to do in your entire life and you're looking at your salary, it will never be done. Um, I may have want to go a little further with this, but maybe I'm not sure I am keeping it. With me, it has been a journey. I'm God fearing. I think I let God understand what I want to do, will be doing, and basically we are the government on this earth. The Bible says you have to obey the law of the land. Meaning you cannot just say the country says not to do this, but God says to do this, and you're just going to do it. He's still going to He's still going to put some licks on you. So you need to always obey the law of the land. You need to obey God you have to have God in your life. You have to obey Him. And basically, this is the journey that I've taken from age 14, keeping on that track where God is always with me. I mean, a lot of stumbling blocks, a lot of people try to stop you, a lot of things, but you keep focus on is your source, where your source came from, and what your source has done for you. And then you move on. And a lot of persons think that money does things for you. For me, money doesn't do anything for me. Money doesn't do anything for me. I don't even understand money when it comes to persons saying, oh boy, I need to have $1 million in the bank. I really don't care about that. I care about doing stuff because I'm living today, I'm living tomorrow, and I'm providing stuff in my path to shelter me for tomorrow. So if basically I just make and put all the monies in the bank, tomorrow I'll be very sad because I never lived for today. So a lot of people have to live for today. Whatever you can do today, you do it. Persons always think of, I will do it in the next 10 years and I will do it in the next 20 years. You have to do it now. And if you don't do the things that you can do now, when it's 20 years, it will be too much for you to do. So basically, persons will think it's a contractor, and it goes for my staff also. Every project that we start, I say to them, hey, I want y'all to do something on your house, whether it be a toilet, whether it be a window you change. I want you to not just take these monies for the 3 months and just go drinking and buying expensive shoes at 500. And you need to do something with your. And I set meetings with these fellas. Sometimes it's upsetting, it's frustrating. I really want to, sometimes it's not really the building that you get the stress with, but more staff. And persons believe that they cannot achieve stuff, but if only you start today, you would have less to do tomorrow. And this is what I'm doing. I'm not waiting. So as a civil servant, you may say, well, boy, it's not within my reach. I cannot do it. You can do it. You can do it. If you put a pillar before you, every day you walk in by that pillar, you must say, okay, let me put another one. Let me put another one. And by the time you check yourself, you can be as big as anybody else in the world. So it has nothing to do with your money. It has everything to do with what you want from within, and what you want, you go for it, and you're going to have it.
Keiran, we've been doing this podcast for a little while now, maybe 3 months or so. And undoubtedly, the most common feedback we get is almost dismissive from some of our listeners that, you guys, you ladies, y'all do that because y'all can, or because y'all have, or because, you have some advantage or benefit. And invariably, I keep on saying that if we all listen to what the guests say, guests when they're telling their story, there's always a point in their journey where a deliberate decision is made about their future. And it sometimes gets lost. And that's why I have to pull it back. So your story, I think, is particularly inspiring to me, because I can't imagine, living on my own with my grandmother in another house next door at 14 and going to school, ironing my clothes, washing my clothes. A lot of our audience, some of the feedback that we get is that the people interviewed or featured on the podcast would have had some advantage over a normal person, whether it's a favor, it's family, whether it's credit, or it's cash. And I've always said invariably that during the course of the discussion, there's always a decision point where the guests would make a deliberate decision about some life choices. It's not always necessarily overt or shouted out, but it's there. And I think that is what separates some of the guests from the normal people who would not have started the journey. Now, as it relates specifically to your project expansion from just your home on top to the 5 units, why don't you share with us, why did you choose to go to the Airbnb, the short-term route versus the long-term route? And what are some of the challenges that you experienced while getting your 5-star rating and your Superhost badge? What were some of the challenges that you faced for persons thinking of doing that, and how can you help them based on your experience decide what route to go, short-term or long-term?
From my personal experience, I would definitely say let's do short term. But it is not 100% let's do short term. Also, you can get some really nice tenants that they would pay you on time, and they would pay you before the time. And I mean, you welcome these people, and even if you're doing short term and you make you make a space, an avenue where these people will feel extremely comfortable. You put additional space around them because they pay very well. You make them comfortable as possible. I would say, go short term, but you can have good clients, good tenants who are locals that can long term with you. And since they pay very well, you keep them on board. But with persons who probably would say, well, it's a bit challenging or it's a bit much to build an apartment and stuff like that. You can build a small one, build it very nice and very, very neat, and you can generate a little more income than if you would have somebody in that apartment for longer term. So for persons maybe like the civil servants like you're talking about, they can start, and this short-term small apartment can push them on to building a second one as quickly as possible, and a third one, and move on and be who you really want to be. But it all starts with you, what you want. If you do not want something, you cannot get it. I'm sorry. You will not get it. First and foremost, if you find yourself not having something, you need to ask yourself, why? Do I really want this thing? Or I'm just thinking that it will just come to me? We all have to work very hard, sleepless nights to make sure things come out, from under our hands. The person may say you because you're a contractor, you have materials and you have stuff. No, it's not because of that. It's the mindset. It's the mindset. Be honest, be good with people, have a good relationship with your bankers, and they will see you through. And I am coming on board with Bank of St. Lucia, as you have spoken, and we shall do very, very good business.
Keiran, I mean, you've given so much advice. As we conclude here, why don't you share with us, some of the things that you've learned, and our listeners right now can benefit from just some succinct point. People wishing to get on the property ladder, people wishing to get their first home, people wishing to get an apartment. What advice you have for them?
It doesn't matter where you are at right now. It doesn't matter if you. I would say to you, whatever you want in life, you basically start planning it. I did not plan my life in that way, but I had to at the age of 14. I had to make sure I make certain decisions that will take 15, 16, 20, 30. The decisions I make will take you to the next step in your life. And if you decide that, you're just going to build a house when you're 40 and you make no plans, no preparation for it, trust me, you might reach 40 and you may start thinking about that house at 40. So right now, if you really want to move ahead and do something for your life, it starts in your head. It starts within. You have to start planning from now to make this thing happen. And when your dream, when your dream is in your hands, your heart, anywhere you try to present your dream, anybody will buy it. To the bank and you tell them what you want to do and how you plan to do it, because now you can give the bank advice as to how you plan to do this thing. And if they say that you cannot pay for it, then you can tell them how you're going to pay for it because you have been planning. And this is what is most important. Building is very easy. You get that in 2 months. But the planning process, it's much longer. And if you don't have it locked, you are going to have some difficulties in life.
Okay. Wow. All right, Keiran Lecompte. I'll tell you, listeners, every time I do the podcast, I learn. I've known Keiran for a long time. Actually, I taught him in my teaching days before university and after university. But I did not know he was on his own from 14 years old. So even while doing the podcast, we discover some more information. And I think it's a phenomenal story. Please send any questions that you have about Keiran, about his company. But I've never quite experienced a guest or an interview which brought together disparate areas, not necessarily directly related to construction, but it guides your outlook on it. The fact that you use photography and videography as the plate through which you will design an apartment, or because you want it to look a certain way. I think that's so unique and telling. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for another podcast. We encourage you always to send your questions to caribbeanpropertyinvesting@gmail.com. Check out our YouTube channel, check out our Instagram, Facebook, and of course, Twitter feed. Until next time, remember, everyone needs somewhere to live. You might as well own yours. See you.
I love my community. It teaches you the importance of being together even through difficult times. Business owners doing their best to make it through. Fishermen and farmers working hard to put food on our tables. Nurses caring for the sick shows me who we are made of. People who care. I guess it's about growing together.
To ruminate, to create your ultimate living space. And at Quartz, you'll find what you need. Choose from our wide range of furniture, electronics, and accessories to complete your space. We're here and ready to assist. Give us a call to place your order. Shop online at shopquartz.com or visit us in store. So ruminate at Quartz, bringing value home.
Congratulations and thank you for tuning in to the Caribbean's first property investing podcast. We want to help Caribbean people create wealth and achieve financial freedom through property investing. Our show provides general advice based on personal experiences and is for educational purposes only. For more information, resources, and past episodes, visit us at caribbeanpropertyinvesting.com. Remember to click the subscribe button so you never miss a show. Let's go.